did the manifested presence of Yahweh go? Why is it that we don't tend to see or experience that presence more often? Hi, this is Barry Phillips, a 10-minute tour, day 3 of Chayei, the life of Sarah. What's more, Genesis, Bereshit, chapter 23. It says in verse 3, Then Abraham rose up from beside his dead, that is from Sarah's side, and spoke to the sons of Chayei, saying, I am a sojourner and a settler among you. Give me property for a burial site among you, so that I bury my dead from my presence. And the sons of Chayei answered Abraham, saying to him, Hear us, my master, you are a prince of Elohim among us. And why is that significant pertaining to what we're talking about now? A theme, if you will, of this week is the Shekinah, the presence, the manifested light and glory of the Most High, a sense of His very nearness, that unmistakable moment where you know you've just encountered Him. You don't have to have goosebumps. You don't have to have hair standing on its end. More than likely, you will experience brokenness. Not in a negative sense, but rather that an overwhelming of Him just causes the inside of us to respond. If you think about Daniel, seeing the messenger of the Most High fell on his face as though he was dead. When Yochanan found Yeshua on the Isle of Patmos, or encountered him, he fell at his feet as though he were dead. There is a collapsing of self and a overwhelming sense of Him. Is that vital? Is that necessary? Well, we can have our Bible studies and our Shabbat gatherings and our feast day celebrations and our Shabbat moments at home, and we can read and we can study and we can live our lives and go right along. But what about the breaking of self? What about dealing with the real version of ourselves? The way that this works for us is to understand this word chet, or hate is a better way of pronouncing it. I'm learning along with everyone else. The sons of hate are the original sons, or the progenitors, I guess you would say, of the Hittites. The ancient Hittites were known to be a very fierce warrior culture who were known and reputed to be absolutely ruthless when engaged in battle. The root of their name, Kathath, means to be shattered and dismayed, to be broken down with fear and confounded and beaten down. None of those are good things. So it would lend to the idea of various cultures, such as maybe the ancient Scots and Celts, or Native Americans here in the United States, who used warrior paint or face painting to promote more of a fearsome look. Even knights in shining armor, they presented themselves metalled up and decorative, and the prancing horses running at you at full speed with a lance pointed right at your head. Well, that's a fearsome thing. The chariots of ancient cultures were meant to inspire fear, and the ranks of those that were standing ready to receive the advance of their adversaries. And so these Hittites were reputed to inspire fear. Yet when Abraham walked among them, he had no fear. The answer as to why here in just a moment, but let's deal with the aspect of fear. Fear causes one to miss out on the presence of the Most High. If we think about this in Bereshit, or Genesis 3:10, Adam and Chava have sinned, and Yah is walking in the garden, figuratively speaking, calling for them, where are you? It's not that he doesn't know where they are. And their answer to him is, I heard your voice in the garden and I was afraid. Now, where did this come from? Previously, they would have been able to anticipate Yah's presence and with open arms gladly receive that presence and walk with him and converse with him, have relationship with him. I'm sure it was reverential, but sin brings in a different aspect of this relationship, and that is of fear. Yareh, to fear, to honor, to revere, to be in awe. But the way it's used in Adam's situation here, it's as if he is saying, I was afraid of your honor. I was afraid of your reverence, and I'm not prepared to encounter you. Maybe that is, again, part of our answer to the opening question, where did the presence of the Most High go? Could it be that when we live in fear, we're not prepared to receive the presence of the Most High? In the book of Mark, chapter 4, verse 39 and 40, Yeshua is asleep in a boat that is being heavily tossed by a fierce storm on the waters, and his disciples are crying out in fear and waking him up. And having been awakened, it says, he rebuked the wind and said to the sea, be still. And the wind ceased, and there was great calm. He then said to them, why are you so afraid? Have you not belief? Could you not discern that I'm in the boat, and the boat will not go down with me in the boat? Are you not confident in who I am, and confident in my relationship with you, that I'm not going to let harm come to you? Do we wrestle with those same questions ourselves? Do we know that Yeshua is in our figurative boat, and our lifeboat, if you will? And are we not aware that he is seeking our best and not our harm? And it's not to say that if we serve him that there will be no harm to come to us in this physical life, but we know that when the physical life is over, we have everlasting life that continues on with him. There should then be no fear. But fear does have a prominent part of our daily living. If we go over to 2 Timothy chapter number 1 and verse 7, a very familiar verse says, for Elohim has not given us a spirit of cowardice or fear, but of power and of love and self-control. When fear or cowardice, spiritual cowardice, is not in operation, it is because we are walking in power and love and self-control, soundness of mind. We have assurance and confidence that Yah is with us and he's for us. Do you have residual questions about your relationship with him? Is there a part of you somewhere in the recesses of your inner being where you question that he actually really loves you? Maybe you feel guilty. Maybe you feel condemned. Maybe you feel a failure. Any long list of reasons why you would feel like maybe he doesn't really, really love me. He does. If you hear nothing from me else today, understand that the Most High loves you, and he is for you. And he is about those things that are important to you. And 1 John 4 and 18, there is no fear in love, but perfect love casts out fear, because fear holds punishment, and he who fears has not been made perfect in love. If you are consistently believing that you're worthy of punishment, and hey, we all do stuff, we all make mistakes. You know that. I don't have to tell you that. We all have reasons why we feel like, that wasn't good. And we start looking over our shoulder, and is the punishment coming. Yah chastens those that he loves, corrects and admonishes, and sets us in the right path. He doesn't let us sweep stuff away, but he makes us deal with it. Being honest with you, working honestly with you and your issues, me and mine, brings about a confidence of his love and his care and his affection for us. And like Abraham among the sons of Chayei, there is no fear. There is none. And the presence can return. And hopefully you'll return and be here again tomorrow. So then, shalom.